Hello and welcome to the European Youth Media Days news program.
One of the biggest concerns of the European Parliament in the pre-election months has been insufficient voter turnout throughout the countries.
Our team talked to several MEPs. Here's what they say.
When it comes to choosing their president, 68% of Finns go to the polls. In European elections, only half of them. Simple question: how to change status quo? Asking Finnish MEP and officially known Spitzenkandidat, it is clear that even though he doesn't know the exact formula, Alexander Stubb is trying to appeal to emotions. Finland is, along with Slovenia and Slovakia, one of the member countries where the voter turnout is the lowest. Democratic legitimacy of MEPs is being questioned. Totally the opposite of Belgium or Germany. Do all their member states have an answer?
Well, I think people go to elections if they have the feeling that their vote changes something. And in the last elections, for example, in Bavaria, people could very clearly see that they have a choice between different visions of where Bavaria and Europe as a whole should go.
This shows us that at every end of the tunnel, there is a light. According to Jamila Anzi, we still need a bigger involvement of young people.
Although being active is crucial to preserve the EU, only 38% of young Europeans between 18 and 24 plan to go to the polls.
The Eurobarometer, a survey of public opinion throughout the EU, has revealed a marked increase in public support for EU membership.
According to Eurobarometer statistics, potential negative outcomes of Brexit become more apparent to EU residents, thus the approval rate has slightly increased.
The EU approval rate is record high according to the latest EU Barometer survey. 8 months before the European election 2019, the majority, 62% actually, of the European citizens consider their membership in the EU in a positive way. This is the highest result in nearly 25 years. However, all the indicators of the survey suggest there is a growing concern about the impacts that Brexit is going to have. But the majority of the respondents said that they would vote for their country EU membership to continue. It will be interesting to see how many of the voters are actually going to vote on the period between 23rd and 26th of May 2019 and decide about their EU future and the future of the European Union. Mirna Brekalo reporting.
Young people and politics are two worlds that may seem distant, even though they depend on each other to a great extent. Will politics find a way to encourage youth to make their voices be heard? A story by Francesco Mora and Sven Sebastian Sajak.
The relationship between young people and politics is an argument with many facets. These are some opinions of young MEP collected during the European Youth Media Days 2018.
We see a double phenomenon. We see on one hand young people having a strong will to participate, to be active on political subjects. At the same time, we see a not strong, even decreasing often, participation of young people in voting.
What could be the problem if young people are not involved in politics?
If we delegate big decisions to the old and traditional way of doing politics, we will come out with the same and old solutions. And we need disruptive ideas, we need creativity also in politics. And I think that this creativity and this disruption could be brought by young people.
Is there a real possibility for young people to be involved in politics?
I mean, theoretically, you have the right to vote as a young person. Not all young people, but in most member states when you're 18. But I would say that this institution still has to open up more. to find connections to young people, to foster connections to young people, because I really believe that young people can have a very important role in shaping the future of the European Union, and that's why also it's in our interest to talk to the young people.
On the other side, which attitude the young people should have?
And be proactive as much as possible and ask a question. This is always very useful in life.
Perfect.
Working conditions throughout the EU will get a facelift due to a new European directive. It received a final vote in Brussels, and it is supposed to make employees' life a bit easier and a tad more predictable. Some employers, though, fear that the new rules are too far-reaching. Jeff Covenbergs knows the details.
Indeed, today is an important day for young European workers across all the countries in Europe, as a proposal for a directive on transparent and predictable working conditions passed voting in the European Parliament today. It means giving better and more social rights to all workers in the European Union, especially those with flexi jobs, like for example Uber drivers or Deliveroo workers, will get more and better social benefits. For example, the new law will make it possible to seek additional employment, banning exclusivity clauses with employers. Probation periods will also be limited in time, up until 6 months, and will be free from all charges. Not everybody is in favor though. For example, Business Europe, which is an organization who represents the interest of all big companies here in Europe, claims the new law introduces a number of bureaucratic elements that will create unnecessary costs and fundamental legal uncertainty for companies and employees. They claim that details of work organization, such as probation periods and parallel employment, should not be regulated at the European level, but should remain a national matter.
To end in a positive note, we are bringing an inspirational story.
Although coping with blindness and a hearing condition, David Wilkins became a journalist and a trainee at DEP.
David Wilkins is a journalist from the UK and is one of the 400 trainees in the European Parliament. But David's story is unique.
It's a challenging job, but I am tremendously excited because this is the first real work I have had for 4 years. I was desperate for a job. I was very keen to get to Europe because I love politics. I'm a political junkie. I love foreign affairs. It's challenging for everybody. I mean, the European Parliament, I'm sure they have employed disabled people before. I know there are some MEPs who are deaf, and there probably are some who are blind that I don't know about. But the media directorate where I'm working has never done this before, so we're both learning.
And technology plays an important role on this process. So David's office is equipped with the tools he needs to get the job done.
On the right, on the far right, is my telephone with a pair of headphones and a microphone. Here we have my Braille Sense. This is a Braille tablet and I use it for taking notes. We have my computer, which is a computer with a screen reader. That is a speech system that turns what is on the screen into speech. We have here a computer braille line called a BrailleX. It basically functions like a separate monitor. So when you're looking at your screen, I'm looking at this and reading what comes up in Braille. That means there will inevitably be little glitches, there will inevitably be hiccups and misunderstandings, but that is life. I know some blind people who can't accept that, and to be honest, they're foolish not to accept that because that's the way things will be.
Thank you for your attention.
See you next year at the same program.